Hey guys, Jesse here, and today we're going to be building the HGCE Destiny Gundam. This is my first build video, so I'm aiming for a sort of calm and relaxing type of video, so it's going to be pretty quiet. But I've got all the pieces cut out here, and we're going to build this thing. We're just going to do assembly. I'm going to talk a little bit about some pieces I find interesting and etc. I have painted this kit, so you'll see the colors I painted shortly, but it's nothing too crazy. But the assembly is pretty much going to be exactly what you get out of the box, so let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to start off with the weapons first, and I usually normally like to do the weapons first just because when you're building a kit and you're putting together this awesome mobile suit, you've got the whole mobile suit or the Gundam or whatever put together, and you get to the very end and it's like, it kind of feels like a chore to put together the weapons, so I call it weapon fatigue. So I usually just like to take care of the weapons right away. So let's start with that. I'm going to get the anti-ship sword pieces out of here because we're going to be putting together the beam rifle first. Now we do have a seam back here, it seems, maybe kind of going up and above and through the bottom, but you're not going to be seeing this beam rifle or that seam very often because it's going to be held forward. Otherwise, it looks like they covered up the seam as a panel line going down the rest of the gun. And there we have the Destiny Gundam's beam rifle. All this can move. That scope is supposed to be white, and we're supposed to have some red details here. I think I'm just going to hand paint that at the end. Next up, we have the anti-ship sword, which it doesn't call that the anti-ship sword in the manual, but we all know it's the anti-ship sword. Supposed to have a couple of red stickers here and here, but I think I'm also going to hand paint those or just leave them as be. I don't think they're really necessary color apps. And here we have the anti-ship sword. Transform like that, and actually lock in place slightly, but what will really lock it in place will be the effect part. There it is, the anti-ship sword. Very cool. These parts can move in. Next up, we have the big beam cannon. Now, I've already painted this. I've painted it in Tamiya's AS9 dark green. It's actually an aircraft color, but that doesn't matter. So let's go ahead and put this guy together. Again, we're supposed to put some stickers here in the little indents for some red accents. I'm definitely going to omit those because I don't think they're really necessary. Here we go. Got the beam cannon, beam launcher. I'm not exactly sure what the correct name for this is, but it does also have a locking mechanism. You may have noticed that there's a notch here in this connection, and the connecting gray part has a little tooth there that will cause it to lock. It's not the most secure connection, but it does allow it to lock, and there's a tab for that bottom part to squeeze in there so it stays nice and locked. This handle can somewhat fold away. Then finally, we've got his shield. I went ahead and painted this inner part that they give you some stickers for with brilliant orange, which I've also done the other yellow part in. There we go. It does actually transform with no part swapping, which is really nice. That's very nice. As you can see, my black, I did repaint the black with some black spray paint, and it is a little uneven, and that's just because I didn't get the sanding absolutely perfect. But once I hit it with a matte coat, you won't see that. Also, the brilliant orange there is pretty glossy, but again, a matte coat will fix that right up. Nice detail on the shield. Got some inner detail here. Now, the hollow parts are there, but they look kind of like details. So the fact that this transforms without actually needing to parts form is pretty nice. That does it for the weapons. So let's get on to assembling the actual mobile suit. Okay, next we're going to build the head. I'm just going to go ahead and start from the head going down. You can see here sort of my recolor I've done. A lot of the red is going to turn to this orange. The piece here for the V-fin. We're not going to focus on that. There we go. So that's the sort of orange we're doing. It's going to start here. As you can see, they even got the colors going down the cheeks there. Now, a little pro tip: a lot of these under eye pieces will have panel lines that are just impossible to get to once the Gundam is together. So just go ahead and panel line them now. I just like to use my finger to wipe away excess. Works just as well as a cotton bud, even better sometimes. Another pro tip, this is going to be the next part we're going to put on, but just go ahead and either paint your eyes and camera or put the stickers on while it's still on the runner. It's a lot easier to hold on to, and yeah, just makes your life a lot easier, because once the Gundam's all together, it's really hard to get in there and paint it if you plan to paint it, or even put on the stickers. I also noticed in the manual the head is going to go together like this. And normally I would fix that seam line, but in every shot in the manual it shows that that seam line is supposed to be there. Usually they clean that up if they plan for that seam line not to be there. So I'm just going to go ahead and forego that and push the head together. And now looking at it, you can see there's a height difference between the front part and the back part. So looks like that's seam line is supposed to be there. Maybe not so much that gap, but I'll make sure to push that together a little harder later. Next, we're going to build the torso. As you can see, I've changed all the blue to this Tamiya's Italian red. So it's a little bit darker red, so you can kind of see the color scheme I'm going for. Next up, we have the arms and shoulder armor. We're going to start with the shoulder armor first. Now we're going to put together the waist section and skirt armor. Okay, next up are the legs, which we're going to start with the feet here. I'm actually going to start off by showing you guys a little technique. I just noticed on this ankle armor, there's some rough, you can see some rough sanding there from me just taking off the nub. I haven't sanded it with a fine sandpaper yet, and that's because there's actually a mold line on there. I don't know if you can see that there. I'm going to show you guys how to get rid of that. It's really easy. You just take a sharp X-Acto knife or a hobby knife, and we're just going to put it right up against it and scrape it. Now this makes a pretty awful noise, so I'm probably going to silence that part, but you just scrape along it until it's gone. As you can see, it is mostly gone, but now we've got some really ugly scrape marks there. You just take some sandpaper, in my case a little sand block, and just clean it up. It's going to need some more sanding. Sorry it's so hard to see, I wish it wasn't a white part. But yeah, I'll get rid of that mold line. Just make sure to go at it with some fine sandpaper afterwards. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these mold lines, and then we can actually build this. Interestingly, the thruster on the back of the leg doesn't go all the way in. You can either have it all the way out, or just kind of out. Can't remember if on the master grade it did go all the way in or not. Finally, we're going to assemble the backpack and the wings. I just noticed I didn't quite paint that all completely. I didn't think that inside would be showing, but I think it'll be alright. I mean, it's in the back, so you can maybe throw some black in there or something with a brush and clean that up. Now that the backpack's done, we can move on to final assembly. And here he is, my completed custom high-grade Destiny Gundam. I haven't put the weapons on the backpack quite yet because I need to top coat them or the paint will just scrape off once I put them in their holders, but you get the idea. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all for watching, and I will catch you all next time. Bye-bye.